Hi, my name is Geraldo. First, I would like to say thanks for the organization board of the event. Now I will start the presentation. This is the oral presentation of the work entitled Methodological Development for Climate Change Research, the case of the Research Center for Greenhouse Gas Innovation Advocacy Group. Numerous studies have been carried out to address climate change, mitigate its effects, and adapt society. Among the alternatives currently being the agenda are topics such as nature-based solutions, carbon capture and utilization, bioenergy with carbon capture and storage, and greenhouse gas. These themes are intensely reviewed in short periods since they include promising strategies for solving climate issues. It is believed that the multi-sectoral and polysemic contribution involving researchers from various areas of knowledge may provide more robust data to support crucial decisions. Given this scenario, the present study I'm to develop a methodology for the collection of quantitative and qualitative data on the themes highlighted. The development of the methodology object of the present study started with the elaboration of a preliminary form submitted only to the members of the advocacy group of the Research Center for Greenhouse Gas Innovation in order to test the effectiveness of the form for obtaining quantitative and qualitative data and thus supporting the preparation of the final form. First, the Google form search, the preliminary form. The following objectives guided the preliminary questionnaire. 1. Identify, prioritize, and detail topics potentially covered by national and international agreements, conventions, and other legal documents associated with NPS, CCU, BECS, and JG programs. 2. Identify interested parties and interact with them to prepare comments and participate on laws and decisions within legal possibilities. 3. Establish structures for periodic compilation, access, monitoring, and feeding of the development of the set of conventions, agreements, international protocols, decisions of international courts as jurisdictions and arbitration, as well as national laws and resolutions on the topics of NBS, CCU, BECS, and GAG. 4. Identify and analyze gaps in national legislation on the subject, topics of nationally determined contributions, the NTCs, and particularly applications associated with NBS, CCU, BECS, and GAG. After that, we have a feedback meeting. The feedback meeting was essential to adjust the questions of the preliminary form and prepare the final form from the critical analysis of the respondents. In the case of expert respondents in the studied areas, the feedback meeting clarified obstacles of open questions in counterpoint with the definition of answers by alternatives. Established the importance of including an item for the collection of the main objective of the respondent studies and pointed to the need for a question about the chain of activity of the area studied by the respondent, open with descriptions of all stages of the process. After the feedback meeting, we did the Google form search, the final form. The preliminary form was reviewed for considering the quality of the data obtained with the application of and the manifestations of the feedback meeting. After revision, the final form took 5 sections. The introductory section, the specific issues of the studied area, legal standards, NDCs and the studied area, the technical standards, NDCs and the studied area, and the suggestions and final considerations. The final form was then resubmitted to the respondents for the previous form and to the participants of the feedback meeting. who expressed agreement with the final writing of the form. All those involved concluded that the final form satisfied the interests of the research. After talking a little bit about the methodology, we will talk about the results and the discussions. The steps addressed with the preliminary form were fundamental to improve the quality of obtaining the data by the final form, since researchers from several areas participated critically and analyzed the advantage and the disadvantage of the questions still in the preliminary form, as well as shared the previous experience with the method. In addition, the methodology was successful in obtaining quantitative and qualitative data. Such results can be expressed in graphs and tables for current diagnostic analysis, evolutions, and projections. In particular, qualitative data contribute to the discussion and formulation of more assertive proposals in the final recommendations of this research. The answers of the first set of questions allowed the generation of graphics, enabling the visualization of the participants' data regarding the institutions of bonds and the groups, research areas of the participants. Thus, the figure 4 presents the institutional link of the respondents, totalizing 18 respondents, which is the number of participants. In figure 5, the graphic shows the answers of the research groups frequented by the participants, with a sum greater than 18, since a respondent may attend and cite more than one research group. Similarly, the graphic of figure 6 represents the number of times that the respondents' research areas were mentioned in the form, with a total greater than 18. The methodological development presented proved successful for creating a form to obtain quantitative and qualitative data in the areas of NBS, CCU, BEX, and GAG. The preliminary form and the preliminary results, as also the final form, show that the application of the preliminary form contributes to the collection of important and sparse data or typical information of the experience of researchers and respondents. In this context, it is possible to attribute special usefulness to the application of questionnaires in research areas with developing themes on the frontier of the knowledge. As such data are not usually cataloged, systematized, or published in scientific sources, the questionnaire favors obtaining such data directly from researchers or institutions where such research is ongoing. In the present case, following the steps of methodological development was fundamental to improve the previous form and reach the final form. The next stage of the methodological development involves the application of the final form and preparation of workshop rounds with researchers and respondents. It is expected that the application of the final form will present new quantitative and qualitative data, but a grouped and specialized content. The workshop rounds will be useful to deepen qualitative data, strengthening the dialogue between researchers and the exchange of specific knowledge. The methodological model may be replicated in similar cases of other researchers. For this study, we have some acknowledgements and the funding information, as you see in the screen. And I would like to thank you for the opportunity. And I will finish now the presentation.